Let me record.
Hello, good morning.
Good
Morning.
morning.
How do you make
Good
someone a
morning.
co-host?
Co-host. I think you have to, well, you have to, look,
What? Maddie knows.
well, I've had to manage, so who do you want to do?
John.
John, here.
It says just make host. It doesn't say make co-host.
Yeah.
Make
There is a button somewhere where you can just let me share.
Yeah, or how do you make it share? Now let's invite, honey.
Well, I'm just trying, oh, here's more things. Here.
Allow participants to unmute themselves. Allow participants to play sound when someone joins. Enable the lock meeting.
Well, I never made any of my students co-host. So.
Let me see. You know what? Let me go on Google. Google will know.
Because sometimes it has different options there. So
Yeah, let me Google.
So you need to go into your settings.
Oh, in the actual Zoom. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, you need to go in when you sign in, when you open the meeting.
Yeah.
You have on the left hand side, at least it's on my computer. You have on the left hand side meetings, and then you have settings. And in the settings,
settings.
in the settings, you can choose whether you want to have a waiting room, whether people have their videos on or off, whether you can make co-hosts, etc. So you can put everything as you like it.
I've made the settings here because my account.
Okay,
So do
no
I
more
just-
passwords. No more
If you don't want to use
passwords.
passwords, if you don't want to use the waiting room, whatever, all those things.
Yeah, allow meeting participants to set auto-saving checks, file transfer feedback, co-host. Got it.
All right.
Polling, we can do polling.
Yeah, you can use.
Yeah, look at this.
Yeah, I
Show
had
Zoom
to.
windows. Who can share? All participants.
Yeah, because I had to do that.
Who can start sharing when someone else is sharing?
No one.
So
No one? Okay.
Too dangerous, that one.
Okay, John, let me see. Now maybe you can do it. Hold on.
We'll try again.
Yeah, let's
just Go
see.
there. Go to John.
No, host disabled participant screen sharing, it says now.
More. Click that, honey. Click it.
Doesn't say it now. Oh, maybe because I already started it. It has to be for next time.
Okay.
Yeah, but now it should be working. Now it should be working.
So at the moment, if I try to share the screen just now, it's not.
No, it won't work. I'm gonna make you the host in about 1 minute.
All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
I already did.
Cool.
And then it's text Elizabeth. And,
Oh yeah, she's
and who else?
she will be in the
Yeah, I know. And then
Marshall.
is Marshall gonna be in it?
I don't know. Maybe not if he's just come.
Mm. Hopefully David will be in here from the thing. Hey,
Oh,
William.
Hello.
Hey.
Hi, William.
Hi, John.
How are you? Okay.
Fine, fine. Are you getting more hair, or is it just
Yeah.
lockdown? You know,
It's locked down here.
it's lockdown playing tricks on me.
Yeah. It's going that way.
This is not the.
Down the
I know
back.
it. This
Yeah.
is not the same talk that I've heard before.
No, it's not. It's not. I assure you.
Because I have the magic keys to inclusion. I have got the 5 keys to inclusion here.
All right.
In fact, I've got the certificate to inclusion.
And that's the commercial in the chat that we talked about. So you
Okay.
can save it and send it, but it has like a step-by-step guide of the first
Honey, please don't.
Honey. I got it.
You
Of the
got it.
first commercial for the or one of the commercials.
Michael,
Yeah.
I already talked to Katja. She's joining the band, and we are doing hosting for the video and
Great,
later, so for the festival.
fantastic, good news.
Yeah, we have tomorrow the first meeting and train with the band, and she's gonna be there too.
All right, great, Riku, fantastic.
Yeah.
And then who else?
Riku,
Yes.
usually we have first the introductions and then John has his presentation, then we talk about the topic and how it relates to the festival. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay with me.
And Michael has some news at the beginning.
Yeah, for the commercial. Yeah, I think the commercial is going to be really fun, and everybody can do it, and should be pretty good.
Well,
I don't know. Chris, well, Chris can't. Elizabeth, Chris, Neasley's coming, and then we should have David come. I think David's the guy who does the voting, and yeah. Hopefully, I emailed them.
okay, Elizabeth is sitting up,
Yeah.
so she's gonna be good.
And I am recording. Account, David, let me make sure.
Record the outtakes.
Okay, let's see. Oh, I wonder, where's Catherine? Might be in the, country.
You want to text her? Let's see today. For the movie. Really excited about there's a on the July 6th, there's going to be a really cool about labor organizing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. And maybe, John, we could do the following week. I'm trying to get a labor organizer, so maybe we can have somebody about organizing talking with him.
Yeah.
He's part of the Longshoremen Union.
All right. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'll let you know the
6th of July. Yeah.
Yeah, the 6th of July is a video of an actor who is a play about, ever see On the Waterfront?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's loosely based on the guy. But anyways, and then afterwards, that would bring us into organizing. We thought that was a good idea to have like a art thing to kind of introduce it, and then.
Great.
Yeah, so maybe we can have something with that.
I could have been a contender.
That's it. I thought you were Brando when you said that. That was pretty uncanny.
It could have been a contender.
Uncanny.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi, Cindy.
Hi there.
Wow, long time no see, Cindy.
Yeah, 24 hours.
Oh my God.
Hi,
Already missed you.
Yeah, thanks. I missed you all too.
I know.
Yeah.
We should just have a no labels, no walls, like a collective home. Like we all live together. That way we don't miss each other.
Yeah.
Big brother, but we don't have to live all together.
Exactly.
We just see each other all.
Careful.
It's a real flop house.
Wall.
We live it all in a big flop house. That's what they call it, right? A flop house.
A bit like the circle.
Exactly. Let's see if no labels, no walls really works. It's an experiment.
How long before we're all building walls?
That's right. one big space. Hey,
Well, it would have to be some length of wall and some size of wall for me
That's
to
it.
get to.
That's it. That's it. Oh, hey, David. Hey, buddy. Looking good, man. Good.
Keith's here.
Keith's
hey,
here.
Hello
all
from
right.
South Central LA.
Hey.
Oh,
So
What time is it now?
I think it's 9. So Marcus, do you want to, Riku, do you want to start with the names or introductions or?
yeah. Mm. I have them here at my desktop now. This is the first time I'm using this tool on the computer, but
Oh, you look good. The picture is really great. You should go use it when you can.
Hmm.
The sound
okay.
is
See it
better
so
also.
well. It sounds, yeah.
Yeah.
Your sound is good too.
Okay, thanks. So let's go for the first to Mary and Michael. How are you doing?
We're good.
Yeah.
I'm Michael Sternberg Laboratory.
And I'm Mary Sternberg Laboratory. So we are here in sunny LA.
Hello.
Okay.
In Porto Vele, La Crescenta, by the mountains.
Okay. And how are you today?
We're good. We're hanging in there.
Yeah, we already walked and Michael went to run in the mountains. So
Yeah, we're good.
we already.
ready for a nap.
Okay, great. Then we'll have John. How are you doing today, John?
Yeah, not bad. I'm John. I'm in the south of Scotland. It is about 5 o'clock. It's been a long day already, but it's been good. Yeah, the sun is shining here too.
Okay, great to hear that. Welcome.
Thank you.
Then William, how are you today?
I'm doing fine. Hello again to some of you. I saw only 24 hours ago. Surprisingly,
Yeah.
the weather is brightened up today, but it's got rather foggy again this evening. And I'm up in what I would normally say is dreek and wet Aberdeen, which I can say this time is dreek and wet Aberdeen in Scotland.
Great. Nice to hear that. And then Cindy, how are you today?
Fine, thanks. It's been a long sunny day outside Viking. Been a good day. Thanks. I'm in Espoo, Finland.
Yeah. Great. Okay, and who else we got here? Marcus, how are you today?
Hello, everybody. Greetings from Vantaa, Finland. I'm really excited to see all of you again and to talk with John and all of you about 7 Keys to Citizenship. I'm excited also that a group of students is preparing us No Labels, No Walls movie. So it should be out very soon. So let's
Cool.
check it out when it's
Yeah.
coming again. Thanks.
Okay, I will be part of it very gladly too, making it. Okay, that's great news. Okay, and then we have Lasse is here next. How are you doing, Lasse?
Hi everybody, I'm doing fine. I have been kind of working since 9 o'clock and kept a couple of breaks during the day. I'm fine. I have been also enjoying a little bit of the weather, and I wasn't there yesterday, but I was counting that today I will be seeing you all. So nice to see you all.
Yeah, you too.
And I'm also from Finland, Helsinki, and I have been working with Markus for about a year now, and I have met Riku quite a number of times, same as Cindy and others, and Michael, of course, and Mary.
Yeah.
Let's have a good evening.
Yeah, we're one happy family, yeah. Then we have Pia here next. How are you doing today, Pia?
Hi, I'm Pia. I'm from Helsinki, Finland. And how am I? I'm tired right now. I've been cycling a lot, so I'll probably be very quiet and just listening, but I'm looking forward to it. And good to see you all, new and old faces. Old as in familiar, of course.
Thank you, Pia. Sounds very great. Then we got a new face here, if I'm right, with Francis. How are you doing today, Francis?
Yeah, I'm fine. Yep. I'm Frances Brown, and I'm joined from Scotland. I am lucky enough to work with John as part of Radical Visions, and obviously the other people on here from Scotland. I'm lucky enough to work with in all sorts of different ways, which is brilliant. And John and I are obviously involved very much in the festival, one festival here. So it's nice to join you. We've been at it all day as well in terms of just being on, so feels like he's living in these books.
Okay, yeah.
We were tiring, so but we're glad to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here too. And then I have extremely gone for but by myself. So my name is Riku Turpeinen, and I'm a musician in No Labels, No Walls, and I have written a lot of music for this project, and also the new festival song, and for the next festival, and now hosting for the first time this our adventurous ride for the Action Monday. And yes, this was the introduction. So
Riku, we missed a couple people. David, do you want to say who you are real quick?
Okay, we have the new people.
That's okay. It's okay.
That's fine. I'm just so happy to be here, and thank you, Michael, for inviting me. My name's David Schwade. I live in South Central Los Angeles and do a lot of work with people coming home from prison.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And Michael McEwen.
Hi guys, nice to meet you all. So my name is Michael. I'm part of the We Are One festival in Scotland.
Okay, great to see you.
And then Keith.
Hey everyone. Yep, I'm in Glasgow in Scotland. I've got my State Blade Scotland T-shirt on today. So I haven't been out far yet today. It's quite nice here. So when we finish this, I'm going to go for a little cycle before I eat.
Yeah.
And Riku, we got a couple more. Kevin.
Wow, we got a lot of people here.
Likewise, I'm happy to just be part of this. This is pretty awesome. My name is Kevin. I'm from Connecticut. I work with Adam Christofferson in musical intervention, located in New Haven, Connecticut, and we've been just coming up with some awesome tunes and just helping. Glad to be part of this project.
Alistar.
Hi there, I'm Alistair from Aberdeen in Scotland. Been part of the Action Mondays for a wee while now. It's and I've also been involved with the We Are One and stuff. Good to see you all.
Yeah, good to see you too.
And Liz. Liz?
Oh, we are still.
Hello, everyone.
We are just
Nice to
Hello,
see you all.
Liz.
ourselves.
Nice to
Hi,
see
hope
you.
you're all well.
That's okay. Elizabeth? Elizabeth, are you there?
Can you hear us, Elizabeth?
All right, we're gonna skip. She'll come back. Neasley.
Okay, Nisa is here.
Good morning, everyone. I hope you are all well. I just came back from outside. It's beautiful. It's cool. I love it, and the sun is out. I am here in Los Angeles, and I'm just excited to be a part of this. I will probably be muting myself because I unfortunately, I'm also attending a global conference that I signed up for quite some time ago. And so I'll be in and out.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
Nice to hear.
And I think now, Riku, I think we're in. I think that's everybody. So I think
Okay.
John, I'm gonna make you the host right now. And you're the host, John.
Thank you.
Thank you, Riku.
Thank you.
Riku.
You're welcome.
Michael,
Now, John.
I don't know if we caught Liz arriving in the room.
I'm sorry?
I think Liz also joined us. Liz.
Yeah, Liz. Yes. Liz, do you want to say who you are?
Yeah, I will. So I'm Liz Leach Murphy. I'm based in Colbdale in West Yorkshire. Just really excited to be part of the meeting today. So yeah, thank you for making it possible. Thank you.
And John, I totally forgot. Before we start with John, just 1 second. We're doing a commercial. It's on the chat. If you guys can save it and send it to your friends, do something with it. It's very simple. It's our first teaser for the festival. We also have a press release coming out very shortly. So just a way to get, people involved, getting more workshops, discussions, and also artists a part of it. So does everybody see it on the chat? And then Kevin, maybe we can use some of your songs, part of the teaser, if you want to do something with the music. So check it out, because at the end, everybody starts dancing. That's the end of the commercial. So
yeah, it's not in the chat, but is this something you want me to get in contact with Adam and just pitch?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, it'd be great. You guys could come out, music, signs, whatever you want. We can kind of do this big global, getting ready for the festival.
Yeah,
on it. Please, Michael, can you put it again, because it doesn't show to those who came later.
Okay, let me do it right now. And then just a reminder, on Sundays, we're having more planning festival stuff. So Sundays, 9 a.m., 7 p.m. Eastern, Finland time, 7 p.m. Eastern, Finland time, Eastern European time. So please, if you can, come, because then we can start planning more workshops, more festival kind of related stuff. It's a really great meeting on Sundays. That was it.
Thank you. Okay, so I am really pleased to have this opportunity at Marcus's invitation to talk a bit about the 7 keys to citizenship. Bear with me 2 seconds. Okay, so here we are. I'm going to move you guys to the bottom of the screen. So yeah, so first of all, these are not my ideas. I'm reflecting on them a bit, but they're Simon Duffy's ideas, and we'll see Simon's smiling face later on in this presentation. This is the book that Simon published.
John, can you speak up a tiny bit? It's just a little bit low.
Okay. This is the book that Simon published. I think it's out of print, but I'm looking on the website. I think there's a 3rd edition coming soon. And you'll see that it relates to people with learning disabilities in terms of the publication itself. But I think, and I think you'll agree as we go through it, that the ideas and principles relate across the board, really, in relation to the various kinds of work that we're involved in here. This is apparently the House of Citizenship in Bremen, in Germany. So what I want to suggest is if the keys to citizenship give us access to the House of Citizenship, I think there are some foundations that lie below the House. And I want to speak about them first of all, just to kind of some fundamental ideas and principles and values that underpin the 7 keys to citizenship. So one of them is that we all share a common set of human needs. Basically, that we're all the same, we share a common humanity that's not compromised by any disadvantage we have, nor is it compromised by any additional help we might need, any support. We all share the same needs, is the notion here. And it kind of attacks the idea that there are special needs, which is frequent vocabulary in our work. It's not that we have special needs, it's just that we might need a bit of special help to have our needs met, is the argument. And, you know, some of us will need more support than others in the course of our lives to have those basic human needs met. But we'll not get some, you know, strange set of special needs because we have a disadvantage or disability. Okay. Now someone's entered the room. I'm just going to admit. Prosperity. Okay. I forgot I was the host. Right. The second kind of foundation is we might be all the same, but we're also all different. So we're human, we're unique, we have our own personal preferences, our own likes and dislikes, we take joy and satisfaction from different things. We dare to be different, even if that means we come into conflict with the communities we live in. So for example, oops, it isn't. It's not letting me advance. There we go. So I might be in a minority if I like jazz and I detest macaroni cheese. Okay, but that's okay, and that's me, and I'm allowed to have those distinct preferences because I'm an individual human being. A third underpinning value is that we're all equal, we're all worth it. We have equal value and status. There's an international set of rights associated with that, and whether that's in our own domestic law or international law. It's illegal to treat me as less than human, or it's illegal to treat me as less significant or important than other human beings for whatever reason. And obviously, you know, those things are anchored in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. And the sort of final kind of underpinning thing I want to suggest is that we all need each other, that we live life in and through relationships. Our lack of relationships undermine our health and well-being and threaten our lives. So those are the kind of things that I think rest beneath the House of Citizenship, the foundations of that house. And we'll now come to the keys to citizenship themselves. I promised you Simon's smiling face, and there it is. And he has articulated these 7 dimensions of, and it's really difficult to know what order to take them in. But just looking at the screen there, love, freedom, money, home, help, life, and purpose. I think over the years he's tweaked those words a bit on occasion. He's However, the fundamental ideas beneath each of the words is pretty consistent and constant. Before we start talking about the individual keys themselves, I think it's important to realize that the argument here is that these keys give us access to, these are the things that give us access to citizenship, these individual dimensions that we're going to look at, but also that they give us a means of measuring whether or not citizenship exists. That's the idea of the gauges at the bottom there. So it's not only how do we aspire to citizenship, how do we support other people to become citizens in our work, it's also about how would we know whether or not someone was a citizen or whether citizenship was kind of apparent in the community that we were working in. The first of, well, I'm saying it's the first. So I thought long and hard today about the order to take these in, but I think unless we have somewhere private where we belong, someplace to call home, with no real foundation in life. So that's the first of the keys that we're going to look at here. Obviously, a home is an internal space where we have comfort, hopefully, and ease, where we feel secure and safe, a place that's ours and can't easily be taken away from us. But it's also a place that faces outwards into a community, a neighborhood, a town, a city, a place where we can engage with others. So we can face inwards to be secure, we can face outwards to be a participant in the life of our community. That's one dimension of home, I guess. There's a kind of old song that says, a house is not a home, and the implication is that it's a building itself is not home. The home needs content that's to do with love and affection and warmth and relationship. And I guess that gives us the clue to one of the things about the 7 keys is that they are all interrelated. You can look at them one at a time, but one supports the other. One might rely upon another here. So one of the keys is love, and I'll come to that at the end. But obviously, a house without love is maybe not a home. The Finns have a really cool idea about what it means to be at home in this word, kalsari kanit. The feeling, all in one word, they've managed to get this idea of the feeling when you're going to get drunk home alone in your underwear with no intention of going out, which is a pretty special idea, I think, in the sense that it says, once you're at home, you can do what you like, that you're in control, you're in charge. It's not for someone else to tell you how to behave in your own home. And I think in the work we do, we know that lots of people don't have a place to call home. They live in places like this. Hospitals, homes, placements, hostels, units, that kind of thing. They live in places like this, or have historically lived in places like this. And so when someone doesn't have a place to call home, this is maybe what it looks like. And there's a kind of hidden homelessness associated with a lot of the work that we do at times when people don't have security of tenure, don't have ease and comfort, are certainly not going to have kalsari kanit. The second dimension then, help. We've touched on this already in the kind of fundamental underpinning, the kind of arguments. So one key to citizenship is having the support and assistance of others. And there's this notion of interdependence, that we all need each other, that independence is never strictly true of ourselves, of our lives, that whatever stage of life we're that even our most kind of strong and vital, that we're still depending on other people to have our needs met. Desmond Tutu's quote there, the fundamental law of human beings is interdependence. A person is a person through other persons, which I think is really quite profound. And again, this has a bearing on one of the other keys to do with having relationships in our lives. The third key that I'm touching on today is what Simon calls now freedom. It's about having personal control of your own affairs. And I guess it's why a lot of the work that Simon and others over here today have got involved in is something called self-directed support, where you're working to try and make sure that people have as much control over their own lives as possible, notwithstanding the fact that they need support, notwithstanding the fact that they have major issues, disabilities, disadvantages in their lives. That shouldn't be a barrier to people having the control over their own lives that they wish to have. And so some of those ideas are articulated through self-directed support. And a major challenge to people being, certainly in the world of learning disability, one of the major challenges to people being in control of their own affairs is this notion of capacity. Oh, well, they lack capacity and therefore they can't make decisions for themselves, would be something that's quite frequently heard. And I think for all of us, it's really important to grasp the distinction between mental capacity, as we might call it, and legal capacity. So my access to all the
Sorry, John, can you mute Riku? Oh, thank you.
Okay. My access to all the good things in life, all the rights and positive aspects and dimensions of citizenship shouldn't be curtailed because someone judges that I lack capacity. Legal capacity means that I have a right to make decisions and form legal relationships. And that's where very often the notion of supported decision-making comes into play, where someone who's close to me, someone who has my best interest at heart, will become involved to ensure that my legal capacity is fully respected. The next of the dimensions is money. Enough cash to sustain our independence. And for most of us, I guess the first place to look to get money is through employment. And I think a lot of the people whose citizenship is under threat are people who find it very difficult to get into employment, for whom the labour market's it's a distant sort of dream very often, or they're forced into the labour market at very poor wages and poor conditions. So I guess it's why the whole notion of universal basic income is around and has been around for a long time. If we take Martin Luther King's quote there. I also spoke to someone at one time who told me that it was very much on, believe it or not, Nixon's radar before Watergate derailed him. So this notion that a basic universal income would protect all of us, whoever we are, from the unforeseen crisis that just waits for us around the corner, which whether it's coronavirus, whether it's an accident, that suddenly our ability to have a regular source of income is undermined. Not something that's widely available, but lots of different countries have tinkered with it a bit, have tested it out. I think maybe in Finland it's been brought into use a bit more. So how do we get access to a regular, secure source of income? So that means that our independence or our autonomy as individuals is secured. The people who perhaps we are engaged with in the work that we're doing are very often the people who have the least money, very often the people who are most affected disproportionately by the economics of austerity that are still with us, I guess, in large measure. People who are disproportionately affected by the unforeseen pandemic like coronavirus. The next of the keys then is direction. And this is to do with having purpose and meaning in your life. And again, employment would typically be a major source of purpose and direction and meaning for many of us in life. But there's also something about defining or identifying those things that you're really passionate about, and finding ways to pursue those ideas. There's a list of sports there. We'll give you a seminar on cricket after this wee talk is over. In terms of people lacking citizenship, a big issue is folk having nothing to do, having large tracts of wasted time on their hands. People sitting in facilities looking at walls for hour after hour after hour, perhaps for year after year. So, as we were saying earlier on, one measure of whether citizenship is a real thing for people is this notion: do people have a purpose in their lives? Do they have things to get up for in the morning, or are people condemned to lots of idleness? Simon has a key to citizenship called life, which is a big global thing, obviously. In this sense, it means opportunities to contribute to our communities, to live a life in our local community where we might be in work, or we might be volunteering, or we might be involved in local groups that are trying to make the life of our communities better. Whatever it might be, it's a key to being an active citizen in your own community. And I guess the reality for lots of the people that we seek to support and encourage is this kind of deliberate segregation. It's not about inclusion, which is, I guess, one of the key things about this key, but the world where you're taken away somewhere else during the day to be separate, perhaps to waste your time, perhaps to do some things that are okay, but not particularly connected to your own society. And finally, we come to the seventh key, love, which is defined here as reciprocal friendships and intimate relationships, and which, as was said already, if we don't have these things in our lives, what is life amounting to much of the time? We all need a bit of time to ourselves, but we don't need imposed time to ourselves to the extent that we end up as lonely as lots of the people who rely on the service system. So that's the 7 keys to citizenship, a wee bit of illustration. And just a final slide, just to kind of summarize that. We've got the foundations in place which shape the architecture of the house. we're all the same, we're all different, we're all worth it, we all need each other. And if we believe those things and we assert those things, then they will filter through into the lives we lead in our community as citizens. Okay, so I think I'll stop there and stop the share.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for that introduction, and there was a lot of important issues, and I really liked it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yes. And then I'll give next speech to Mary and Michael. What's coming up next?
Well, I was hoping if anybody has questions or comments, first of all, John, thank you so much. So powerful, especially at times like these. What does citizenship really mean? You know, with the protest movement and obviously what's going on in America. So it's always refreshing to see, you know, the core to what, you know, we all need to deserve as human beings. I had a question about becoming. You know, in our work, we see so much, no one's ever asked somebody what they wanted to become. And I wanted to get your thoughts in kind of that. This is the first question. Everybody else hopefully will ask more questions to John. But what do you, how can we set up in the festival, but also like, how do you envision we can kind of get that from people? Like, what do they want to become, like a becoming workshop, or how do you like, how do we address that? Because it seems like the who am I is, especially for people that have never had an opportunity to express themselves, is such a huge huge thing.
I mean, what comes to my mind as you mentioned that is my own experience of being at school. So and certainly in secondary school, as we would call it, you could hardly escape people saying, well, what do you want to be when you leave school? What do you want to be when you leave school? And then when I came into this kind of work, talking to people, it was a question that had never been asked then. People with disabilities, it was the unasked question. So I think it's a really powerful question to ask. I think the earlier we can start asking it, the better. It would be just a great workshop to run, I think, in terms of the festivals that we're doing. You know, talking to people who are, and not just children, young people, but people who are quite advanced in their own lives, who perhaps never been asked that question. That'd be a really powerful thing to open up, I think.
Maybe we could do, maybe we could do a how do we want the world to become, and what do we want to become workshop. The question, the question is, you know, who do we want to help facilitate that? Because one of the beautiful things about a virtual workshop, which we were talking about yesterday, is that it's all going to be archived. So unlike a regular festival where so many things are happening and it's hard to kind of document, we can have a whole library of subjects after this festival's done for people to look at, you know, like for instance, for this workshop. So maybe we can kind of talk, maybe on Sunday, that'll be one of the things that we talk about, is doing that. Because I tell you, I think it's
But I think also, I think the festival is so great because the whole festival is actually something like teaching people, like, you know, and giving a kind of stimulus and inspiration. What do you want to become? Because we have such a variety subjects and art and discussions and all these things. So, but yeah, something more specific could be also good.
Yeah. David says, how many things do you want to be? Is a good question. He says he doesn't know yet. That's for his next stage of life.
Lasse, you had a question, your hand was up?
I say it's called you.
Yeah, I know. I had to hit my button. It's actually not a question, but I think you might be interested about Finland's universal income
Yes.
experiment.
Mm.
It was targeted to about 2,000 persons who has had history of hard employment. So they had really trouble getting a job for themselves.
Yep.
And the experiment lasted for 2 years. And they were all guaranteed a nice little extra income, regardless if they get a job or not.
Yeah.
And during these 2 years, our unemployment laws changed a little bit, which also affected to this experiment. But the results were released about half a year ago. And the media news told that this experiment didn't increase the employment at all, or very little. But what they forgot to say is that these people were mentally much more stable, happier, felt more secure. And I think that is the point what we should be driving out when we are telling about this experiment. Because if the people feel more secure and are happier, the savings from healthcare, mental health care, etc., I believe it's far more greater than the basic income for these people.
Yeah.
So I think the results were positive. Maybe they're not the results the politicians were looking for, but I think it was a positive one.
Well, I think if you introduce it solely to get people into work, then it might be one measure of success, but as you say, there are many more measures of success with universal.
Oh, yes. And I think also the target group was a little bit too much selected, because if you would randomize, say, 2,000 people from the whole population, you would get much better results.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I had nothing else but except to comment on this one.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lasse. Very important comments.
Alistar?
Yeah, no, I was just thinking about that. John's comment about what you want to do, and it's that thing about doing rather than being, isn't it? It's like we spend so much focus on process, and for people with disabilities and a lot of other marginalised groups, it's more about being busy rather than your contribution. Just shove people in a corner and have something to do to take it, rather than something meaningful. And so that idea of like looking at the outcomes, the growth, the happiness, all the stuff we've been talking about, and doing that visually, I think that would be really a great thing to do as part of the workshops.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah. Yes.
Well, one more thing is, did anybody else have anything they want to say? I know there's a lot of stuff in the chat. Does anybody else they want to share about, to ask John, or any questions at all, or we're all just chatting away? I feel like we're texting. Everyone's texting.
Yeah.
Like, why call someone when you can text?
Liz and Kevin have their hands up, I think.
Oh, okay, Liz. Perfect.
Hi, I know it's the first time a lot of us have met, and Francis, I know Francis from years ago, but we came up to last September or August time.
August,
we was part of the festival there, and came up with a group of musicians who performed with a band called The Outsiders, and we also created a visual representation of what citizenship means for people. So the people that was actually coming along to the festival had the chance to share what it meant for them. But the background, some of the work that I've done has largely been based on person-centered planning and working alongside individuals to develop person-centered plans, but then also kind of really finding a route from it being a plan to it becoming reality.
Reality, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So instead of it being stuck in the planning stage, it becoming something about how that relates in life. So it'd be really interesting, I think. Sometimes especially with the path element of person-centered planning, there's a focus on dreams, and if nothing was going to hold you back and you had no barriers, what would life look like, and how would you be connected, what would you be doing, what are your passions, and really creating an opportunity for people to express in that way. And sometimes we get so caught up in day-to-day life and to-do lists and tasks that not many of us have the opportunity to share dreams and what dreams really mean for people. And it's a really nice opportunity to explore and imagine, but actually there's some wealth of information that comes from that conversation around what really makes people, what inspires people, what motivates people. So we call that, when we do the planning work, we call it the seed of the dream. What are the seeds of the dream? So if somebody's talked about living by the sea and being able to go on a beach and walk the dog every day, we begin to learn that actually fresh air means something to that person, that countryside and nature means something to that person. So even if it's not possible to have that house by the sea, how can we bring that into somebody's reality on a day-to-day basis in a really, really straightforward way? How can we work together to make that possible? So I don't know whether there's some scope within the event to do something about like what dreams mean and how we learn about people through creating that space and that opportunity. So I'd be more than happy to bring something of that kind if that would be useful or valuable.
That sounds fantastic.
Yeah,
if people want music, I can do that too.
Liz, maybe,
yeah, we can do that.
Maybe we can talk, Liz, after this and get a date to tease it. So what we're hopefully doing is all these workshops, we're teasing them for the festival and also video recording, making videos. So maybe sometime in July, we can have you on for a dream workshop as part of the Action Mondays. Would that be okay?
Yeah, good. I think that should be good. I mean, that's quite sensitive and delicate to tease that out. What I was going to say as well, that whole business of making sure that plans get implemented, I guess that was the whole of self-directed support, was to bring plans in contact with the service system and the money, rather than be some sort of abstract thing in the corner. You have a nice plan and you never do anything about it. So
yeah, I think there is that thing as well that people. The reason why person-centered planning became stuck is because it came from service land. And actually, planning is about life. And if we get really stuck on expecting our social care systems to release the assets and the resources to make things possible, we will get stuck. Whereas what it's really about is, exploring community and connections and resources and being creative about how to make things happen. So, yeah.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay.
Does anybody else have anything for John?
Hi, John. It's Nisli.
Hi, Nisli. Hi.
So I love the whole setup, Keys to Citizenship, right? I have a platform for a family life department, and what we're doing in July, because with all of the stuff that's been going on, in our church, we've been looking at how is it that we have been sort of trying to participate in this and trying to enter these conversations and trying to be a part of it. And I think we've finally got to a point, we've been there before, but finally in 2020, again, we've gotten to a point to say, okay, we need to create things for ourselves. So all of these rights, all of these keys to citizenship, we realize that after you've been left out of those opportunities, now we need to create those opportunities. Yeah. And so one of the things that, I'm doing is we're having the same conversation called Rights of Citizenship, right? And it starts on July 4th, and it's going to be every Saturday. And every Saturday, we're looking at 2 rights. So we're exploring, we're having, and this is maybe just the way I'm looking at it, is maybe an idea on how we can do it too for the festival.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're having is a clergy. So let's say when we look at the freedom of expression, right, and the freedom of worship, let's say we're looking at those 2. We will have a clergy who will talk about what that means, like from a spiritual perspective. What does it mean to have spiritual freedom of worship? Freedom? Then we'll talk to an activist or an attorney who is going to bring out the legal. What does it mean legally to have these rights? And then we will be having a mental health person who will talk about what happens to people when they know these rights are there for everyone, but they can't participate in those rights. And so every Saturday, we're going to have the same sort of 3 people, like different people, but the same 3 different point of views coming. And it's going to be an open conversation with presentation, but there'll be Q&A. And so then it's going to be kind of like a workshop, but not really. So it's more like going to be a town hall meeting, if you please, as far. So I love it. It's just right in line with what I've been thinking about.
Yeah, that's great. I think the keys to citizenship, they're very aspirational, aren't they? I mean, they are ideals that we're pursuing.
Right.
But you're right that we need to think about, well, if we understand that they're not being met as conditions, then what action do we take? And I know Michael is talking before the meeting started today about how we organise, how we help communities to organise to ensure that these things are tackled and addressed. So I think those different perspectives are really important. Thank you. I'm conscious of Kevin having had his hand up a couple of times.
Well, I was hoping I would get a copy of your presentation. This was just very eye-opening, as I hope many points that you brought across can really apply not just to one specific point in the world, but almost everywhere.
Sure.
So.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I'll arrange that through Marcus or Michael or whoever. Yeah. So you can get copies of the slides. Yep.
Yeah, thank you. I have one question too.
Yeah.
How do you say about people having dreams and sleeping and all that kind of stuff, and how they should correct nightmares and all that kind of stuff? Can you say anything about that?
No, I think you've taken me out of my comfort zone there. There might be other folk in the room that could address that. Yeah, I had very strange dreams last night and I've no idea what to do about them.
Okay.
Liz, what do you have to say?
Oh, not another one about me, John. Please, no.
There is a planning tool that recognises nightmares. So there is.
It's important to recognise actually.
Yeah. Because sometimes the way forward about what somebody wants to move towards might recognise what they want to move away from, or what they want to avoid in that journey.
Yeah. And sometimes just naming those things as well helps those people that are trying to support and help that to make sure that they avoid it on their journey. So sometimes the naming of it and the worries and the concerns, just that kind of process of getting some of those nightmares out.
Yeah.
So I think as part of the plan, you can't really dream without really thinking about, what are the things that are scary about that change and that transition that might face the person or those people around them that love them. So,
no, I agree with that. I thought maybe Riku was talking about nightmares.
Literal nightmares, maybe?
Yeah. I was just talking about way to handle nightmares, and that's sometimes difficult for me. So
yes, I'm sure. Yeah, and I think that would be a different field of expertise, perhaps.
Yeah. They say they have meaning, but as you see.
But at the daytime, I'm always happy.
Did anybody else had their hand up or anything else they want to talk?
I have
Yes?
one question. John and Francis and Keith and Alistair, and everybody else who knows about the keys, it has inspired a lot of people and a lot of communities. How can we reach them and invite them to the festival to bring about their good stuff that they've been doing? Any ideas?
Riku, can you put yourself on mute?
Yeah, sure.
Thanks, buddy.
Keith's got his hand up to answer that, I think.
Yeah. I think maybe we talked a bit about that last week as well, didn't we? Just about creating those networks and about getting out there and talking to people and sharing stuff. So I think, I'm not sure that there's any other way to do things other than that, making connections and keep talking.
Yeah. And I guess people like Liz would.
Well, good morning.
Hey, Lee. Sorry, Keith, John.
How are you doing?
Put me back as the host. Marshall, you got to put yourself on mute. Sorry, guys. John, put me
How
back
did I
as
do
the
that?
host.
How did I do that? Talk me through that. How did I do it?
Oh, he's on mute. Just keep going.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so you've identified, we've got a kind of close-knit Scottish network there, and we can think about how to kind of get the word out as far and wide, but we need to reach out through people like Liz, who've got, a bigger network in England, and we're truly international. So yeah, we just need to get smart at marketing and communicating and letting people know this is happening. And
we just started some conversations today about story gathering, so maybe that's something we could link into together. Because one of the things that's happened recently, last 3 months, we've had to use technology, haven't we? It's like whether you like it or not. But actually, we've started some conversations about people can easily get hold of a telephone, film the story, send it in, and just compile stories, invite people to share.
Yeah. I guess Marcus's point is, how do we bring together the community of people who've been inspired by these ideas? So we should maybe talk to Simon as well, because he'll be more aware than anyone how far the reach is, the extent of the reach.
Yeah, and as Michael said, it's even more relevant now. There's almost a new opportunity to reframe the keys to citizenship based on everything that's happening right now in the world, isn't there? There's it's been for a while. We've obviously found it extremely useful to help us frame the work, and in the festival we used it to invite people in under those headings. So where people were working around on a particular thing and what they wanted to do was share something that they'd achieved, then we were able to kind of think about how we invited them in under those citizenship and kind of framed the festival under those keys to citizenship. But I think it couldn't be more important at the moment. So there's a real, I think with Simon, a real opportunity to say, how do we get that work out there even more at the moment and, wider.
Yeah. Michael.
Yes.
Michael McEwen had his, Michael McEwen had his hand up.
Yeah. No, I was basically just a quick kind of comment on it about I've been going to different meetings and meeting lots of people like this and it's brilliant. But I'm kind of using myself to using this time to kind of reinvent myself. So there's things that I haven't done before that you know, like I should start from the basics, and maybe I think maybe that's what we should be doing as a kind of We Are One festival, but also No Label Through Walls festival as well.
Yeah. I think one of the really powerful things about what we've been talking about today is it does take you back to those basic principles about why we're doing the work, but also how we do the work. So it gives you a reason or method, but it also gives you a methodology to follow. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's 10:02. We want to say, first of all, thank you to John for a great discussion.
Really inspiring.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And Riku, thank you so much for being such a great host.
Thank you.
A couple things before we leave. Riku, you have to do the honors. Next week, who do you claim as the host?
I would say Francis.
Francis, you are now the host. You have to come back. It's now, you're now. Good one, Riku. That's actually what I would have done. Good job, buddy. Good job.
Francis, they did the same to me, and it's not scary.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Riku. Thank you, John. So just want to give a couple updates real quick. Next week, it's going to be, we don't have any host, a speaker, but what we're going to do is maybe start more talking about the festival, because I think like we're doing on Sundays, maybe we can talk about the commercial that's up there, getting timetables down for when people can film it. We can talk about the, different workshops, ideas that people have, like for instance, the Dream Workshop that hopefully we'll have in July. Yes, William.
A bit like we did yesterday, and I think Marcus wanted to come in as well and say something.
Okay, Marcus.
Yes, next Monday from Kukunori we have Rosso Productions, and they are helping and producing culture only using digital means. So it perfectly fits into the theme of the festival. So there's a whole team of people thinking about how to make these kind of festivals and continuous cultural productions only digitally. So next Monday we have a topic like the Monday after that, isn't it so, Michael?
Yes. Sorry, Marcus. I did not see that. So next Monday we have that. The following Monday we have Los Angeles City College. They're going to be screening a film called Black Ops. And we're going to have the cast from LACC, Los Angeles City College, the oldest city college and the biggest community college district in the United States. They're the only academy in the community colleges. They serve mostly underprivileged people. So it's a really great opportunity to see their work and also talk about education. And then the following week after that, we have Ian from doing a film about Harry, I don't know his last name, the founder of the Longshoremen's Union, the International Longshoremen's Union, that was kind of went into a little bit into On the Waterfront, the movie On the Waterfront. So we have a lot of stuff coming up. And then obviously we have this teaser for the festival that hopefully everybody can start thinking about. Please email me. I'll send it also as an attachment with any questions, but the more that people film it, the better the video will be. So we really want everybody to be a part of that commercial, that first teaser. Does anybody else have anything they want to say?
I want to know if Cindy's been out on her bike today and how many miles she's done today. Because she was out yesterday and she told us how many she'd done.
Today I didn't go as far as yesterday. I don't know. I didn't count them today, but not as many as yesterday.
Okay. I bought a skating board today.
Nice tan. I love your color.
Yes, Riku.
Sunny.
Yeah, I bought a skateboard today.
All right.
I'm gonna start skating.
Anybody else with the final thought? No? Okay, everybody, see you all next. Try if you can Sunday. If not Sunday or Monday or both. We'd love to have you, and thank you for all being part of it. Thank you, John, and we'll make a video of this. Thanks so much, everyone.
Okay. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.